Hello guys, welcome to Train Sim TV. Thank you very much for joining us once again. Today we're doing a video on North East England V2. This is again the upcoming release version by Darren Porter at DPSimulations. In this video we're doing the Cleveland Executive. This was a scenario which I ran on my stream the other night prior to doing this video. Unfortunately the stream was plagued with quite a few issues. Down to graphical issues and such like that. So if you did watch that stream, I do apologise, but we're doing a rerun video for the YouTube channel just so that you can watch this without any of the lag issues which we occurred with on that night. So we're starting at Hartlepool, and again we're doing the Cleveland Executive service, which was a service that ran from Sunderland to King's Cross. We're going to be calling it Stockton, Middlesborough, so we get to see the new scenery. Darren's just finished off at Middlesborough as well. We will then travel, after doing a reverse, we'll change ends move, down to Northallerton, and then straight through to York. The scenario is about 85 minutes long, and there's quite a decent array of AI as well on this one. There's quite a few interesting workings in terms of freight as well. So I'm going to stop rambling now. We're just going to get on with this and enjoy the run, and as well we'll have a look at Middlesbrough when we get to it. So we're just going to go and set up our cab and get the passengers on board. I'm just going to show you before we set the actual cab as well. Even though they're actually floating above, they actually do. They sit nicely with the door. This is the only way that these could have been done at short notice. A little funky window sticker that actually does it. It sort of sits on top of the door when the doors are shut. Which is just a nice little touch just for the actual drive itself. I'm just going to pop our lights onto daytime. We've got the good, the right way there as well. Clag on here as well, and we should be good to go. Quite a slack timetable with this one as well. I think we're due in at about 6:24 at Stockton. Departure 6:27. So until we get to around Northallerton, it's not really recommended to go over notch 3 in terms of picking up power, as well recommended by Darren. As you can see as well, the actual window sticker's now on by the door. Just a nice little feature. Again, in terms of the new scenery, it's Middlesbrough, which was the key focus for the stream. So when we last did our first preview for Darren, we sort of started around this area just outside of Middlesbrough. That was with the Class 37, which on one of our previous videos as well on our stream. And we also did one with the 67, which I haven't done a video yet. I do aim to get it done at some point, which took us over down to the Hitachi Factory Merchant Park. As well, Darren has actually added a little bit more tracking since our first stream and video. He has added extra track down to Nunthorpe as well, so it gives us a few extra miles for passenger workings. We won't focus on looking at that scenery in this one. That'll be for another video. Also, at the time of filming this, we haven't actually done any streams down to Nunthorpe either yet, so it would be wise to show it off on a stream, on a video without doing it on the stream prior. Stockton's 10.7 miles away from our current location as well. The level of detail always amazes me, even though with this, this is the part of the first release, which is available currently as a download of DPSimulation. I will post a link down on the bottom in the description for this one. If you've not grabbed this one yet, please do go and have a look and do support Darren. Does a fantastic job on his routes. As you can see here, the level of detail is second to none. Again, it's one of them routes where he focuses on the line side detail and so far away from the train itself, but there's none of this need for having scenery miles and miles away as well to help with the FPS. At the end of the day, you are here to drive a train, not look at villages miles away. Again, the area-specific signage, get that right, is apparent on this scenario. Again, with all scenarios Darren does, he's got his fantastic method of changing the station signs for whatever area you want in the scenario, and you can do that yourself in your own. We have done a tutorial as well. If you search for our videos, you will find that. And it shows you just a quick tutorial on what it does, how you do it. It's a very, very quick job. But it all depends on whatever year you want to do your scenarios, whether it's in the 90s, 2000s, up to the current modern era. You can do all sorts of different combinations for your scenarios. There is another thing that Darren's trying to work out and do as well, where he has the same sort of thing with the area specifics, but for assets themselves, such as, for an example, he was trying, I don't know if it's unable to do it at the minute. He was unsuccessful for this video and stream. Whether it will happen for the release is a different thing, but the idea was that Hartlepool station had metal girders above the station itself. I assume there used to be a canopy there at one point. These have been taken down now, but the general idea is that Darren was trying to make it so that these girders would appear in a certain area that they were there, but sadly it wasn't to be. Another one I think is trying and hopeful we'll be able to do is there's a bridge at I think Teesside Airport station where it's a scaffolding bridge in this sort of era, but obviously now it's a proper modern footbridge. So it's just little touches like that which I think is absolutely fantastic. Very clever as well, because I would not have a clue how you do that, and I'm a route builder myself. It's just raising that bar again and showing what can be done with a simulator if you persevere and look into things. I sort of know how the signage works. Obviously he's placed the signs down in the right place each time, and then he's got the tiles for each sign so that they can be plonked in for each in the right place, all a quick copy and paste into this scenario content. As soon as you put the scenery content, it knows where the station signs are, because they've obviously been pre-placed. despite all the lag issues I had the other night when I did this on my stream, I thoroughly enjoyed this run. It's one of my favourite scenarios so far for this route, just in terms of the amount of varied AI which we come across, which will soon start to be seen. And as well at 6:17 in the morning, it's quite an early scenario this, so you still do see quite a bit. There's quite a few ECSs as well on the later part of the scenario. Do see quite a few freights as well. More interesting workings as well in terms of what they're carrying. Of course, my favourite scene on this section of the route now as well. I believe it's Billington signal box, Billington Junction, is it? I think it is. Might have got that wrong. I'm sure it's to do with this there. Billingham, not Billington. Yeah, my favourite scene, that. So as we veer off to the left here, if you was to continue, you would eventually come up to Ferry Hill and the East Coast Main Line. We're going to take a sharp left here. I'm going to join Norton South Junction as well. And just 2 miles to Stockton Station as well. Again, my favourite part of the route is this part with all the semaphores. It's nice to still see areas that do run with the semaphores as well. So we'll shortly be arriving at Stockton, where we'll have a couple of minutes here just while we await for our time. As I did mention earlier in the scenario, the timetable is quite slack, but we do still arrive early on the first parts of the scenario. We are in fact probably about 2 minutes early actually at the minute. Our next stop is Middlesborough, where you will be required to do a change of ends and await your departure time of 6:44. On arrival, you will need to make sure the rear view train is beyond the signal M670. That's simply just so that the signal clears for us to leave. So we're just approaching Hartlepool Curve and Skeletal Junction. Beyond there we have Thornaby, Tees-Yard and onto Middlesbrough. So we're just about to leave the Heartburn curve, and we are now entering onto Skeletal Junction. Skeletal signal boxes there as well. You have to sort of close your eyes for this next little section. Really, for this era scenario, this bridge tunnel coming up now wouldn't actually be here. Obviously, a modern new structure to the route. We just have to imagine that it's not here. Still a lovely asset though. One of many custom assets that Darren has created for the route itself. We're just approaching Thornaby Station. Again, another lovely feature Darren's added in there is the custom assets for this area as well, such as some of the station parts, builders, the footbridges, the ramps down to the platform. There's a good mixture between what's available from the sim itself and what Darren's added. It's done a good mix. Excuse me. Still not quite finished yet is Thornaby and Tees Yard, so we won't go straying off into them areas at the moment. Darren's still got to finish these bits and pieces off, so once these are done they will be shown in the further down the line video, and of course stream. Nice to see the fast line simulation wagons get a bit of an outing on this run as well. This working is quite interesting with these tanks as well. So we're just on the approach to Middlesbrough now. 1.5 miles away to Middlesbrough. Now I might have got this wrong, but I do believe in the distance there is the Newport Bridge, dominating the scene at Middlesbrough here. Lovely little asset that as well. Well, not little, but lovely asset. Key to this location and area of the route. Slight little bit faster. Not to worry. I'm just approaching into the station now. Do we need to make sure we just clear this signal we're just passing now? We will have a look as well at the area and what Darren's done with the route. Please note anything you do see is still work in progress, of course. Alright, so we're just going to open the doors and just shut this cab down. Right, yeah. So this is Middlesbrough. And a lovely job that Darren's done with it as well. Lovely station as well. Nice detail with all the drop down platform signs. I like this little exit sign as well. I'm not sure actually if this is actually featured in one of Darren's previous routes that visited this area. Possibly might have. Yeah, very nice. We can have a little look slightly down this way. The scenery sort of ends just around the bend here, so we won't go all the way around. Nunthorpe is in that direction down there. We're not going to look down into that scenery for now, what's been done. We'll save that for another video. The scenery sort of ends just around here. It's quite nice as well. Pace from the distance there as well. Again, Darren's motorway junctions and slip roads and roundabouts does a good job with them. I do admire him for his motorway work. Nice detail as always, as you can see. Just the right amount of overgrowth on the yards and all the correct sort of stuff you would expect to see in the line side for clutter. Even stuff to wonky signs as well, which is always a nice little touch, rather than just a straight sign all the way through. It's a really nice feel. Another little wonky sign there. They're all quite skew with, really. It's quite cool. We've got a few more minutes just before we get ourselves underway here. We've got the yellow. We're just going to be following this pace as well. It's a service for Darlington. There we go. Right away. So it's just under 21 miles now to Northallerton. Time currently is 6:45 almost, and we will be arriving at approximately 07:12. Certainly one of the more interesting runs as well for this route in terms of passenger, including that reversal move, or change ends move. One of the main reasons Darren wanted to do this scenario, and show it on the stream. All being well, this scenario will be also included with the release of the route. I've not heard anything different that it wouldn't be. Again, we're just going to do notch 3 down to Northallerton. Still quite on the slack side of the timetable. And as well, don't forget we are following the pacer just ahead of us up to Eaglescliff, where he will then diverge off down to Darlington. There's no point tanking it. Keeping it notch 3 as well sort of gets you to the right speed boards, the right moment, as we're just hitting 45 a minute, and we're now just going to the 60, the perfect time there. We do need to slow it down to 45, so we need to power down and just put a little bit of braking on. We do climb back up to 55, down to 60 again in a moment. Another one of my favourite assets. You get some fantastic screenshots with that in the background. You get the lighting on the right side as well, it makes for good pictures. a single yellow. Pace just ahead, probably just about leaving Thornaby. Next signal's just on the bend. Just going to slow it down a bit. We should see a yellow again on this bend in a minute, all being well. The treble, 99p. Always sounds good when you go past that. A bargain as well. A double cheeseburger from McDonald's is $1.49, I think. So a triple at 99p is an absolute no-brainer. Have a red. Interesting. Just gonna roll up to this. And there we go. This work is quite interesting on the bend here. It's east to Haverton Hill. These reskins of the tankers are available from Vulcan Productions. One of the many fantastic reskins from Richard Fletcher. These use the ZAG, I think, Pack 1, which is one of the Skyhook Games packs. Richard's done a few different reskins for these wagons. Again, it's nice to see some of Richard's different reskins out and about. You don't always see many of the reskins for wagons used. Some of the more obscure wagon reskins that Richard does, which is another thing which I do like as well. Oh, we've got a green, fantastic. Again, just passing Thornaby now. Coming back up to Bousfield Junction. This time we're going to go straight on rather than using the heartburn curve. We will then join back up with the main line here, as we will then travel down to Northallerton and then pick up the East Coast Main Line, head south to York. pace is still just in Eagles Cliff at the moment. I'm gonna knock the speed down now. The red aspect is just about visible now on the bend. Oh, there we go. Fantastic yellow. So now 15 miles away from Northallerton. Looking like we're about a minute early currently. This is Eagles Cliff. Again, another one of Darren's fantastic assets for the route. So to the right there, you would continue down to Darlington, onwards to Bishop Auckland, or the East Coast Main Line. Saltburn's the other way, isn't it? Saltburn is one of the planned destinations that Darren's got for this route eventually, when he gets that way. It'd be nice to see that, because I do like that route, Train Sim World. Just passing Yarm Station. another one of the interesting workings on this morning trip on the Freightliner trains, and that is, let's just find it, where's he off to? That's Leeds FLT to Wilton FLT. So obviously we're travelling on the actual main V1 release part of the route now. The main feature for this stream and this scenario was to show off Middlesbrough itself, as we couldn't do it the first time round. I mean, it's looking like the route's not too far away personally in my eyes. The main bits and pieces, like there's bits of gaps to be finished off here in the yard areas. I do also believe that Darren's aim is to finish off the York area that's a bit blank at the moment, as well. A few bits of things to tidy up. I'm not overly sure if the full extent of the scenery down to done for this release. It'd be nice if it is, but again, it'll be something that, if not now, it will be done obviously at a further stage. I'm not actually quite sure where he's aiming to go after this release. I know he's got a few ideas. Again, it's going to be quite a network by the time the route's finished, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes next. I personally would like to see possibly the finish of the Bishop Auckland route and onwards to Saltburn next, before heading further north with the route. But at the end of the day, it's all down to what Darren's happy to do next and what he's feeling to do. We're not too far away now from the East Coast Main Line, about 5 miles to Northallerton. $34 miles still yet to get to York. We will soon chomp through them miles though when we get up to speed at 125 miles per hour. the good thing as well with this next version of the route that's coming, opens so many more possibilities for scenarios. It's quite a game changer, this next part. Just having the yards. I look forward to seeing new scenarios made for this as well. It's one of my favourites, by far. I have a lot of time for Darren and the work he puts into his routes. Quite an inspiration, to be honest. I love the line side foliage as well, the good variation there, all the grids and drainage. You got your cable troughing as well. There's a fantastic array of variety going on here. One thing I do love, what he does, I don't see if we can find some bit, I'll show you when we find it, is the cable trunking, which travels under the tracks with the orange trunking cables up to signals. Find some of that. Spotted some down on the other part earlier, but I bet we don't see any of it now. Just at various bits of points around the route. It's not everywhere. Another thing I do like is the mileposts as well. I'll be looking for this little bit of trunking now for ages, and we won't see any more of it, unfortunately. Not doing too bad for time, we are about a minute early. It's not too bad at all. Climb up to the East Coast mainland now. So we're about a minute early there, it's not too bad at all. We don't have a massive wait here either. The city logo and livery does look good, basking in the sun there as well, in the early morning sunrise. So we will just be straight through now to York on this next part of the run. We can actually get our foot down as well with this part. Just hear the cooling fans kicking now as well on the HST. And there we go. So we're going to get ourselves going now. Another nice scene with this run is down here, especially with the sun. Next part we're going to fly through first and then straight down to York. spotted this till the other night when I did the stream. I spotted another thing as well the other night when I was doing this, up by the Sardines restaurant. There's a little guy sat in the field, like perched on a little plank of wood. We'll try and find him again and I'll show you that little cameo. Storming towards first. First. It's amazing how quick you get through the miles. That's 10 miles gone already from Northallerton. Just 19 miles to York. Due to arrive at York at 07:33, which is another 12 minutes journey to travelling time. super interesting working quite close to the one head there as well. It's 37. Bit of a mixed rake. Some steel wagons and box wagons as well. Too far from the Sidings restaurant. I'll show you this little cameo I found in a minute. Only 6 miles out from York now. Soon gone through them miles. I love that little plank of wood that's been just perched there, like an old sleeper. Lovely little bits of detail there. I'd love to come here as well for a meal. One place I would love to come to. We're approaching Skeleton Junction now. It's Northallerton Junction. So that's Northallerton. Oh, sorry, Skeleton Bridge Junction. Oh, Northallerton. Some bit further down. Skeleton Bridge Junction, and then we've got Skeleton Junction. So Northallerton somewhere around here. Possibly a little bit further back. We're just slowing down for 60 for the curve into York. It's like a little bit more like coming into York, quite a busy section of the route. It'll just settle itself down. Variety on wagons again, there's a few 56s dotted about. Yes, so again, excuse me, Darren is aiming to sort out the empty void at York as well. We're going to be calling this platform 3 to end this scenario. Again, era specific signage change there, that usually is Network Rail in modern era. Rail track is present. Got Metro 144 as well there as well. Oh, there's the trunking I was on about before. How he does it with the actual cable trough and then a bit of orange trunking. We hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Please do keep checking back. We'll hopefully have some future videos on this route before its release as the route progresses towards the end. You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/trainsimtv_Tom and also again twitch.tv/trainsimtv_Mark. Please do drop us a follow on YouTube and subscribe. Share us about, let your friends know. Trying to get our view base up as much as we possibly can. Again, thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next video. Take care.